A very common question I get all the time is, Henry, how many leads do I need to get in order to make a lot of money in the real estate business? Well, listen, first and foremost, we need to talk about exactly how much is a lot of money to you, and then we can break down the numbers. So for those of you who are wondering how many leads I need to get and how to make a lot of money in the business, this video is for you. What's up, everybody? For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Henry Eisenstein. I've been a part of over $450 million worth of real estate transactions, and I'm only 28 years old. And again, we're talking about conversion rates in this video because we're talking about how many leads do you need to have in order to make a lot of money. First thing I want to talk about is what is a lot of money. Are you the kind of person who wants to make 50 grand a year, 100 grand a year, 250, 500,000, a million, $10 million? What's your number? So you need to get super clear, have clarity on that number so that way you can back out the rest of the details. In this video, we're gonna do it based off of a $100,000 goal. So on $100,000, this is gonna be broken down to, let's just say that your average commission net to you is $10,000. So that's 10 deals that you need to close in order to make 100,000 bucks. For you to close 10 deals, that basically is gonna break down to a little bit less than one deal a month. I think it's like 0.8 deals per month, roughly. That is going to entail generating a certain amount of leads every month, which we're going to talk about in a second here. But that means you're going to have to generate a certain amount of leads each and every single month, so you have an average conversion ratio of one closing, roughly, okay? If you're generating cold leads, you're probably going to be at around like a 0.5 point to a 3% conversion ratio. If you're cold calling or you're cold DMing, cold emailing, cold whatever, okay? You're probably gonna have about a 0.5% to 3% of that total number of leads that you're actually going to have as a conversion from actual conversations or points of contact with somebody to an actual lead generated. So let's just say on the cold lead side, you close 1% of all leads you generate, which again, for cold leads can be decent or it can be terrible depending on how you're generating those leads. Now, 1%, if that's just the number, which by the way, yes, you need to work on your conversion ratios, obviously, because 1% can be pitiful depending on how many leads you're generating. Because if you're generating 1,000 leads a month, you're closing 1% of them, you're still closing 10 deals a month. So obviously if those are all cold leads, you get my point here. So if you're closing, let's just say 1% of all the leads you're generating, and every month you're generating 50 leads, and you're like, I wonder why I'm not closing any business, is because you might be closing at a 1% ratio, which is a 0.5%. It's a half of one. If you're generating 50, 1% of 50 is 0.5. So that means you're closing 0.5 deals every month. So if you're not generating 100, you might not be closing one deal a month. So if you're closing like 6 deals a year and you're generating 50 leads a month, and you're like, why am I not closing more business? Because your closing ratio is very low. And that's, by the way, okay to an extent. So we need to figure out what we can work on. We're either going to work on increasing the conversion ratio to above 1%, or we're going to generate more leads. There's really only two ways that you can be doing this, right? You either increase the conversion ratio or increase the amount of lead generated. That's really it. In this instance, as an example, you want to make 100 grand, closing 1%, and those are 10 deals. That means you need to generate 1,000 leads a year. 10 closings at 1% of what number? It's 1,000. That means you need to generate 1,000 leads a year, which is about 83, 84 leads every single month. Really simple math. Yes, of course, I would tell you to be working on your conversion ratio. Very freaking crucial, and we're gonna be talking about that today. Because increasing your conversion ratio is gonna be very, very important in helping you earn more money without working crazy hard. So now that you know your conversion rate, which is just the amount of deals you close on an annual basis divided into how many leads you're generating. If you're closing 10 deals and you generate 1,000 leads a year, that's a 1% closing ratio. Now that you understand your conversion ratio, we're gonna talk about how to enhance it, and we're gonna talk about one other key secret I use to also help me make more money besides the conversion ratio, which is not generating more leads. For conversion, let's talk about how to increase your conversion ratios. Now that you understand your conversion ratios, there's 3 main things I wanna talk about in this video that are gonna assist you in making more money each and every single year. Number 1 is increasing your conversion ratio. Number 2 is going to be increasing your lead generation. And number 3 is something that not a lot of people talk about, but it's increasing your price points. Because if you're able to increase each one of these by a certain percentage, which we're going to talk about here, you're going to explode your business with ease. Because think about it like this. If your average price point right now is $1 million, and you start closing deals at $2 million in average, okay? So your average deal size goes from $1 million to $2 million. We're also, let's just say your conversion ratio, instead of it being 1%, it goes to 2%, which is not a crazy difference, but it makes all the world a difference, I promise, okay? So that's number 2. And then let's just say that instead of generating 83 leads a month or 84 leads a month, whatever we're gonna say here for 1,000, 83 and a half, let's say 84 leads. Let's say that you double the amount of leads that you're generating. So now you generate 168 leads per month. Do you know that if you just doubled each one of those things, do you know that your income would go up 8x? 8x! Okay, so if you made 100, you would now make $800,000 a year. Freaking, I mean, unbelievable stuff, guys. I'm going to explain in this video how do you improve in each category. First one is conversion rate. How do you increase your conversion rate? Well, you can only do it in so many different ways. You increase your frequency in which you follow up. If you're typically following up with somebody every 30 days, you start doing it every 2 weeks. Or instead of every 6 months, you do it every 90 days. So you have to speed up the rate in which you are following up with somebody. Number two, you increase your modes of communication, which means you are now not just texting them, you're calling them, leaving them a voicemail, sending them a text message, sending them an email, handwritten letter, the whole 9 yards. You're doing multiple different modes of communication. You're following them on social media and you're DMing them there as well. Increase the rate in which you follow up. The second is increase the modes of communication in which you're following up with them. And last but not least, I would also increase the ability that you have on the phone with them when it comes to your closing statement. So improve the amount of times that you're actually stating the close, which is, in this instance, let's say you're trying to set an appointment, so would an afternoon or evening be better for you? Or if you're trying to negotiate a deal, what price point would you at least consider selling the property, right? When you can get really, really tight on your closing statements, increasing the number of times that you're following up with somebody and increasing the modes of communication, you're going to increase your conversion ratio hands down. So point number next here is, we just talked about conversion rate. Number next is about your price points. So when you're trying to increase your price points, what you're prospecting you will generate, what you're prospecting you're going to sell. So you need to be very, very clear when you're pulling your lists the types of properties you're pulling. Because listen, if you're prospecting 2 families and 4 families, your average price point's only going to be probably 400,000 or 600,000 or 800,000, maybe $1 million if you're lucky. Okay, depending on where you are in the country here. Realize that, like, okay, well, you're probably not going to increase your price points if you keep calling 2 families and 4 families. If you're in the commercial world and if you're talking about retail centers or warehouses or office buildings and you're calling 10,000 square foot average properties, might only mean it's a $500,000 to $1 million deal, right? Maybe it's $2 million at most. You need to be paying attention to what you're prospecting. So the data you're pulling from that list is incredibly important. If you want to increase your price points, you need to be start targeting larger properties, higher assessment values, overall larger properties, okay? Whether bigger unit counts, bigger square footages, higher assessment values. That is going to lead towards you having a higher price point and a store. And the last pillar of this is how to generate more leads. Now, yes, of course, could you spend more time on the phone, and is that probably something you should do? Yes, it is. That is one thing you can be doing. However, this is one pillar. Cold calling could be one pillar. You have cold calling, you have professional partnerships where people can be referring you business. Every lead that you're closing, every deal that you do, you could be trying to get one deal out of it, right? You're going to try to get one referral from your past client. You can also have relationships with people that you do deals with all the time that are also trying to refer you. So not only do you have your sphere of influence, but maybe your accountant can be referring you business, your attorney can be referring you business, your lender can be referring you business. Do you have mailer campaigns that you do? Do you have text message campaigns that you're doing? Email campaigns that you're doing? Do you have a newsletter that's being blasted out to your sphere of influence, your entire database, each and every single week or every single month? Are you doing events that are generating new opportunities with professional partnerships? There are so many different ways you can be generating leads. Are you working with other brokers in your area that have deals that they can't sell that you can help them sell? I mean, there's just so many different ways you can be generating opportunities with ease, by the way. So you can double the amount of leads that you're generating right now. It's going to be really hard to make less money. Try to generate more leads and try to make less money. It's just backwards math. It doesn't make any sense. Really simple video, even though it can be a little complex in some circumstances, but you want to work on your conversion ratios, you want to work on your price points, and you want to work on generating more leads, and you are, I promise, are going to make more money this year. So other than that, guys, if you have any questions, make sure you put it in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you have yet to do so, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. If you're still watching this video, that means to me that you're a committed real estate agent and you're looking to take your life and business to the next level. I'm just curious, why have you yet to schedule your free, no obligation coaching consultation? All you have to do is simply go in the description down below, and people are telling me this call has been the most unbelievable, the most powerful call they've had in their entire career. And here's just a few of the individuals who have taken full advantage of this call. And my mission is to support as many realtors as possible, build a 6- and 7-figure net income business so that they don't have to rely on this industry anymore for their everyday income. If you're a committed realtor, which I can seem like you are, all you have to simply do to take full advantage of this free coaching consultation is to go in the description down below and schedule your free call now.